Have you ever started a new fitness routine, committed to a big project at work, or even seen a large organization announce a significant transformation only to watch it slowly fizzle out? Or perhaps on the flip side, you've witnessed an extraordinary turnaround, be it in a personal habit or a struggling company. This ebb and flow, this dance between intention and outcome, is at the heart of what we want to explore today. Why accountability and change often work beautifully, but sometimes, frustratingly, fail in real life. Welcome. I'm delighted you're joining me as we peel back the layers of two incredibly powerful, yet often misunderstood concepts: accountability and change. They are fundamental drivers of progress, whether we're talking about our individual lives, the teams we work with, or even larger societal shifts. Their effective management can propel us forward, while their mismanagement can lead to stagnation, frustration, and sometimes outright failure. Today, we'll dive deep into understanding why this happens, moving beyond simple blame to uncover the underlying dynamics. Let's begin by grounding ourselves in what these terms truly mean. When we talk about accountability, we're essentially defining it as taking ownership of our actions, decisions, and outcomes. It's about being answerable for the results, good or bad, and accepting the consequences. Think of it in three simple dimensions. First, information, which is about transparency and being open about what happened. Second, answerability, which means being able to justify your actions. And third, enforceability, which entails facing sanctions or consequences if things go wrong. Accountability isn't just about punishment, it's a powerful tool for growth. When it works well, it builds trust, improves relationships, helps us make better decisions, fosters honesty, and allows us to learn from our mistakes, ultimately boosting our self-confidence. The key mechanisms for this success often involve very practical steps: clear roles and responsibilities, measurable goals, often called KPIs, regular check-ins, open and honest communication, adequate support, and consistent consequences for our actions. Now, let's turn to change. We all experience it, constantly, from minor adjustments in our daily routine to massive shifts in our careers or even our personal identities. In a structured sense, change management is the deliberate approach to guiding individuals, teams, and entire organizations from where they are now, the current state, to a desired future. This isn't just about swapping out an old system for a new one. It's about helping people navigate that often messy, emotional, and deeply personal journey of transition. The importance of skillfully managing change cannot be overstated. It minimizes disruption, ensures a smoother transition for everyone involved, helps people genuinely adopt new ways of working, and significantly increases the likelihood of achieving any new project's goals. But here's a crucial point. Change is rarely just a project plan on a whiteboard. It's a human experience, filled with emotions, uncertainties, and personal adaptations. So, how do these two concepts interplay? Profoundly. Accountability is truly a cornerstone of successful change management. Imagine trying to implement a new strategy without anyone feeling personally responsible for making it happen. It simply wouldn't work. Clear accountability structures significantly increase the chances of hitting change objectives. It's about translating those broad aspirational goals into concrete individual actions. In fact, some experts talk about intelligent accountability, which focuses on empowering individuals and fostering collaboration rather than just demanding results.
The topics of accountability and change consistently trend in our personal lives, in boardrooms, and in public discourse, precisely because they're so challenging. Staggering figure underscores a persistent, critical problem that demands our continuous attention and a deeper understanding of our approaches. We see it in the explosion of personal development programs, many of which, despite earnest attempts, don't stick. This signals a societal quest for effective strategies in individual transformation. And then there's the ongoing debate. Are individuals solely responsible for change, or are the systems and cultures they operate within more to blame? This question highlights a continuous societal reckoning with how change is truly initiated, sustained, and owned. Why do we still struggle so much, even when we know how vital these elements are? One of the biggest controversies, as mentioned, is that persistent 70% failure rate of change initiatives. While the exact figure is often contested, the widespread perception of failure points to a fundamental issue. Our methods are often falling short. One major reason for this is what we might call accountability theater versus genuine accountability. This is where organizations or individuals create the appearance of responsibility without genuine enforcement. Goals become vague, actions aren't truly tracked, and performance reviews lack real commitment. It creates a culture where commitments are treated as mere suggestions, leading to a profound disconnect between what leaders think they're accountable for and what their teams actually perceive. Another core debate is how we approach change itself. Should it be treated as a rigid, milestone-driven project with strict delivery dates, or as that messy, emotional, and deeply personal human experience we discussed? Too often, prioritizing deadlines over people's capacity to adapt is a major cause of failure, driving resistance underground rather than addressing it openly. We are, after all, creatures of habit. Our natural preference for routine means that any significant shift can cause friction, fear, and anxieties about job security or new roles. Effectively mitigating this resistance and gaining genuine buy-in, not just compliance, is a constant challenge. A common pitfall is also blaming individuals for systemic failures. We often point fingers when things go wrong, but frequently the root causes lie not in a person's lack of effort, but in poorly designed systems. Think about vague goals, unclear decision-making rights, or inherent delays built into processes. This highlights the tension between individual responsibility and the powerful influence of the systems around us. Then there's the critical role of leadership. Public questions frequently arise about a lack of leadership alignment, insufficient sponsorship for change initiatives, and leaders who fail to model accountability themselves. If leaders aren't walking the talk, how can they expect anyone else to? Gaining buy-in at every level, rather than simply imposing change from the top, is absolutely crucial for success. We also grapple with short-termism versus sustainable transformation. Corporate pressures for quick, visible results can clash with the reality that true, lasting change requires consistency and a long-term perspective. This creates an expectation gap that often leads to rushed processes and the creation of change zombies, people who comply with new rules but haven't genuinely adopted or internalized the change. They're just going through the motions.
So, what's the future outlook? Fortunately, the understanding of accountability and change is evolving. There's a growing recognition that future strategies must be more sophisticated and human-centric. The shift from blaming individuals to addressing systemic failures means we'll increasingly design processes and environments that inherently foster accountability, rather than just demanding it. Concepts like intelligent accountability, which empower individuals within supportive, collaborative structures, are gaining traction. We're moving towards approaches that prioritize human capacity and psychological factors over rigid project timelines. Research firms are developing data-driven, technologically augmented solutions to navigate complexity, and there's a greater emphasis on leaders modeling the behaviors they wish to see. Ultimately, all these persistent debates and continuous developments aim to close that frustrating gap between our aspiration for successful change and the reality of its frequent failures. True accountability and lasting change aren't about perfection. They're about commitment, courage, and continuous learning. They are about creating environments where taking ownership and embracing new ways of doing things becomes a natural part of who we are, individually and collectively. Remember, the journey of change is deeply personal, but it doesn't have to be walked alone. By understanding these dynamics, we empower ourselves to build more resilient habits, more effective teams, and a more adaptive future. Thank you for joining me today.